Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to 100 incredibly interesting geography facts. I've reacted to the first part of this, I think about 5-6 days ago, and we're doing the second part of the reaction. 50 facts, not 50 reactions, 50 interesting geography facts, and yeah, I mean, we're just going to jump straight into this because, I mean, I've done a reaction to part 1, so I don't need to do too much of an introduction, but let's check this out and see some more interesting geography facts.
Number 51. The Caucasus is a transcontinental region between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. In this region, there are just 4 countries, being Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia and Russia. Well, the very southern part of Russia, that is. Number 52. The United Nations Geoscheme splits the Earth up into 248 countries and territories in total. There is also 22 geographical sub-regions. Some examples of these sub-regions are Middle Africa, Central Asia, Micronesia, and Northern Europe.
Well, I want to see this actually. So there's there's 3 in North America. Actually, yeah, there's 3 in North America. There's just South America is just all counted as one. Fair enough. Northern Europe, I'm part of the gang. So the Scandinavia. I mean, wait, the Netherlands isn't counted as Northern Europe. That's part of. Oh damn! I would have thought that would be Northern Europe as well, and Denmark as well. Actually, that's Denmark here. So the Netherlands and Belgium. Fair enough. Eastern Europe. I mean, I guess you could sort of cut it off here because Russia's also part of Asia. Damn. Okay, it's interesting. Micronesia, Polynesia. Melanesia, that's probably the only one that I've never heard of. Melanesia. First time hearing Melanesia.
Middle Africa, Central Asia, Micronesia, and Northern Europe. Number 53. In the year 1900, there were only around 60 recognized sovereign states.
Damn.
This was due to various factors such as colonial empires and disputed territories. At this point, the British Empire ruled around a quarter of the world's land and about a fifth of the world's population. That's honestly insane to think about today. Number 54.
Crazy.
At the time of making this video, there are 32 members in NATO. NATO, of course, standing for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. 30 of those are in Europe and 2 in North America. Number 55. The Malay Archipelago is the world's largest archipelago. Stretching between the Pacific and Indian Oceans, it contains more than 25,000 islands in Southeast Asia. The largest of which is New Guinea, the world's second largest island. Number 56. According to the IMF, the African country with the highest GDP per capita is Mauritius, with just under 12,000.
Beautiful as well. I mean, I guess it's a touristy area, but it looks nice. I'll be real, this place looks stunning. I know people go here for like holidays and stuff, but jeez. Stands out for sure.
US dollars, ranking them 73rd in the world, with just under 12,000 US dollars,
Damn.
ranking them 73rd in the world. For reference, the world average is 13,300 US dollars. Number 57.
Brutal,
although China has the world's second most billionaires at some 495 at the time of making this video, its GDP per capita is just 12,500 US dollars, the 71st highest in the world, ranking it a few places under the world average. Number 58. Lake Baikal.
Jesus, Russia's low as well. 68. Flipping hell.
A few places under the world average. Number 58. Lake Baikal in Russia is the world's deepest lake. It has a maximum depth of 1,642 meters.
God damn.
For reference, the UK's tallest mountain is Ben Nevis, which stands some 300 meters shorter than the maximum depth of this lake. Number 59. China and Russia, with 14, set the record for the countries with the most land borders. They of course also border each other. At just over 22,000 kilometers, China has the longest combined border length.
Wait. Is this... Wait, China and Russia have a border here? I'm trying to just look. Because obviously, yeah, you knew they had a border, like, having a border here, yeah. But there's a little border here as well. I mean, yeah, that looks like there's a little space there. Damn, I didn't know there was a border here between Mongolia and Kazakhstan.
Of any country on Earth. Number 60. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Bahrain has the shortest total border length of any country on Earth, at just 0.196 kilometers with Saudi Arabia. Well,
Jeez.
that's if we exclude island countries, who of course all have 0. Number 61. At 53, France is the country with the most maritime borders on Earth. This is due to its many overseas territories it has spread out across the planet. Next is the UK and then the US with 42 and 28 respectively. Number 62. The Americas is this region here. It covers an area of some 42.5 million kilometers squared, consisting of some 35 countries with a population of around 1 billion, which is still a smaller population than that of 2 countries, being of course China and India. Number 63. Out of the 51 countries found on the European continental landmass, 9 have populations lower than 1 million, 24 with a population between 1 and 10 million, and 18 greater than 10 million. Number 64. From January the 7th to January the 8th, 1966, La Réunion Islands saw the most rainfall ever recorded in a 24-hour period. Some 71.8 inches of rain fell during Cyclone Denise.
71.8 inches. Flipping out.
Friends, London sees around 23 inches per year.
Oh,
Number
man.
65.
And I mean, the UK gets hit hard, but doesn't get hit hard. But it's a rainy country, right? And London sees that in a year, and it got triple that in 24 hours. Flipping hell.
Yuma in Arizona in the US is classed as the sunniest city on Earth. It sees an average of just over 4,000 hours of sunshine per year. For reference,
Jesus.
Madrid in Spain sees around 2,800 hours. Number 66.
Double.
China unbelievably has 105 cities with a population over 1 million, as well as another 11 with over 10 million. These 11 cities have a combined population of some 172 million. If these cities combined together to form a country, they would rank as the 8th most populated on Earth. Number 67. Standing 116 meters tall, Hyperion is the world's tallest tree. For reference, the Great Pyramid of Giza stands at around 138 meters tall. Number 68. Sticking with the theme of pyramids, Egypt is not the country with the most, as that belongs to Sudan, who has around 240 in total, whereas Egypt has around 118.
What the? I mean, they're not really the same. I mean, there's still, this is a cool area, right? But the pyramids of Egypt, or of Giza, they're definitely a bit more like you seeing that compared to these ones here. It's a bit of a difference, but that's crazy, man. I didn't even know they had them in Sudan, but to be honest, I've never really thought about it, so I wouldn't know.
Not the country with the most, as that belongs to Sudan, who has around 240 in total, whereas Egypt has around 118.
They just said 2,000, I mean 200.
Number 69. This region here is known as Central America. Some sources may include Mexico too, however. Excluding Mexico, the population is around 52 million. If we do include Mexico, it jumps to 180 million. Number 70.
It's a lot of people in a small area. I mean, that's a very small area, of land, in terms of the Americas.
The country with the most active volcanoes on the planet is Indonesia, with 55 in total. Next is Japan, and then the US with 40 and 39 respectively. Number 71. The United States is the country who sees the most tornadoes on average per year, with some 1,200. That's more than Canada, Australia, and all of Europe combined. The US has so many tornadoes because warm and wet air from the south meets cold and dry air from the north across very flat land. This makes storms which can then turn into tornadoes. Number 72. The tallest mountain outside of Asia is Aconcagua, found in the Andes in Argentina. It stands just under 7,000 meters tall, making it the tallest mountain in both the western and southern hemisphere. This unbelievably makes the mountain the 189th tallest on Earth, meaning the 188 who are taller are all exclusively found in Asia. Number 73.
Mad.
Brazil is the most biodiverse country on the planet. The closer to 1 you score, the more diverse your country is. Brazil scored 0.78, second place Indonesia scored 0.62, followed by China with 0.59. Number 74. Excluding enclave countries, the 2 closest capital cities on Earth are Brazzaville of Congo and Kinshasa of the DR Congo.
I guess what happened here is when they split, the cities they used to be combined and now they just obviously split them. That is pretty wild though. I love these sort of geography facts though, like they're just literally a river apart. And again, I guess before the countries split, they probably would have been the same city.
Who at their closest point are just
I could be wrong now, I might be waffling here.
1.6 kilometers away from
1.6 kilometers, so it's quite a big body of water. Okay, that's definitely not true then. What I'm saying, not true, but still pretty cool the fact that they're so close.
one another. Number 75. There are 9 countries on Earth who have nuclear weapons. There are 3 countries who used to have nuclear weapons, being Kazakhstan, South Africa and Ukraine. And then there are 6 other countries who have nuclear weapons on their territory on behalf of another country, that country being the United States. Number 76. The country with the highest coast to land area ratio is Palau at 3,310 meters per kilometers squared. This comes to no surprise as it's an island country with very irregular shaped coastline. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the DR Congo has the lowest, as its only access to the ocean is this relative.
The fact that it even has a coast is pretty cool because it's such a it's a country that you just always think of as being so like in the middle of Africa, like Central Africa, and it is, but it's just got this tiny little this little coastline. Don't know how they managed to do this, but fair enough.
Relatively straight tiny bit of coast. Number 77. Russia and Canada both border 3 oceans, being the Pacific, the Atlantic and the Arctic, which comes to no surprise as these 2 countries are the largest on Earth respectively. Number 78. There are just 3 enclave countries on Earth. That's a country that is completely surrounded by another country, being Vatican City in San Marino in Italy and Lesotho in South Africa. A country is not an enclave country if it is surrounded by 2 countries, like say Eswatini by Mozambique and South Africa. Number 79. There are 20 countries around the world that do not have permanent natural rivers flowing within them. Now this is so hard to believe as rivers are such a common sighting right
What, none at all?
I live. The largest of which is Saudi Arabia, the world's 12th largest country. Number 80. There are 9 countries on Earth who have Portuguese as one of their official languages. Some examples of course being Portugal, Brazil and even East Timor. Number 81. Valletta of Malta is Europe's most southern capital. It lies so far south that it's further south than...
Damn, I didn't know how close Tunisia was to Italy. Like, that is not far at all. I knew Morocco and Spain are very close. Morocco and Gibraltar, but Spain as well, are very close. But Tunisia and Italy, damn.
Some African country capitals, such as Tunis and Algiers of Tunisia and Algeria respectively. Number 82. With some 880,000, Canada has the most lakes on Earth. In fact, it has more lakes than the rest of the world combined. Second place is China, followed by the US with 201 and 102,000 respectively. Number 83. Arica in Chile is said to be the driest city on Earth, with an average yearly rainfall of just 0.03 inches.
That sounds horrible.
The reason why it's so dry is due to its proximity to the Atacama Desert. This desert is so dry that in some parts there is no life whatsoever. Some parts have never recorded rainfall. Number 84.
Jesus.
At just 2 people per kilometer squared, Mongolia is the world's most sparsely populated country. This makes it 10 times more sparsely populated than New Zealand, 100 times more sparse than Uganda, and nearly 1,000 times more sparse than Bahrain. Number 85.
Goddamn.
There are said to be 8 countries around the world with uncontacted tribes.
Look at all of them in South America. I guess that is pretty much all within the Amazon rainforest. so it does make sense. But that is crazy that there's so many just in that region.
There is obviously no known figure for how many individuals there are. Some sources range from 10 to 100,000 across the planet. Number 86. Now this one is truly mind-blowing. Between the years 2011 and 2013, China used more cement than the US did in the entire 20th century. It is estimated that China used 6.5 gigatons. That's 6.5 billion tons. For reference, 1 gigaton is equivalent to around 200 million elephants. Number 87. I'm sure we are all aware that the Burj Khalifa is the world's tallest building, standing 828 meters tall, found in Dubai in the UAE. But what is the world's largest building in terms of floor space? Which country is it found in? Well, at 929,000 meters squared, Tesla's Gigafactory in Texas is the world's largest. That's nearly double the size of the Vatican City. Number 88.
Damn.
Although the US is the king of fast food, it doesn't rank as the most obese in the world. And
Oh yeah, we know this. It's the small little island. I forget the name. Not the Marshall Islands. Oh damn, I forgot what it's called. I just know it's somewhere in Oceania.
in fact, not even in the top 10. The country with the highest obesity
Tonga.
rate is Tonga at 70.
I think Nauru is what I was thinking of. Tonga, Jesus, 77.1%. What the fuck? It is sad that when you see that all like countries that are like ocean, like little islands that are just far. That I guess I don't know what leads to it, but maybe it was all the mining and stuff. I know that was the case for Tuvalu, I think, or one of them, and it's just led to them losing all their I guess like minerals or whatever, and then it also just destroying the land so they can't grow stuff there. But damn, 77.1% is actually quite scary, to be honest.
7%. Number 89. In 2009, China became the country with the most motor vehicles on Earth. Today, it has some 336 million. That's enough to give every single person in the US one each, with some left over.
Damn.
The country with the most vehicles per 1,000 people belongs to San Marino, with 1,300. Number 90. At 8,890 kilometers long, the US and Canada share the world's longest border. This is due to its long border along the contiguous US as well as the border with Alaska. Coincidentally, this figure is also around the same height as Mount Everest. Number 91. For GDP based on PPP.
This figure is the amount. I don't understand what he's just said.
As well as the border with Alaska. Coincidentally, this figure is also around the same height as Mount Everest.
What?
Number 91. For GDP based on PPP, which is purchasing power parity, China ranks first at 35 trillion US dollars. Purchasing power parity helps compare currencies by looking at what they can buy in different countries. This makes it easier to understand differences in living standards and costs around the world. In this regard, Tuvalu ranks the lowest. Number 92. Speaking of Tuvalu, the country makes around 7 million US dollars per year from royalties of its .tv domain. This of course is a popular choice of domain due to the abbreviation of the word television, with Twitch perhaps being the most popular. In 2019, over 8% of the total government revenue came from these royalties alone.
Jesus.
Number 93.
I mean, it's smart, fair enough, especially for a small little country.
With 98 points.
Small little, I don't know why I said small and little, just a small country. I've just said small twice pretty much.
8% of its entire land being covered in mountains, Bhutan is the world's most mountainous country. Tajikistan comes in second with 92%, and then Kyrgyzstan with 90.7. Number 94. When you think of Nepal, you probably think of the Himalayas, huge mountain ranges, and of course Mount Everest. But do you ever picture lakes? Does Nepal even have any lakes? Well, yep, it actually has around 5,300 in total. Number 95. In 2024, Switzerland ranked as having the world's most powerful passport. Due to its neutrality and high human development index, the Swiss can enter 176 countries without a visa. Now, this isn't actually the most, as that would be the UAE with 179, but other factors place the Swiss passport as number 1. Number 96. Which country do you think has the most airports on Earth?
The US or China? Well, yeah, I would say the US, I think.
It's got to be one of the big boys, right? Well, by a country mile, the US has the most with 15,873. Next is Brazil with just under 5,000.
3 times more than the second. Jeez.
And then Australia with 2,180. Interestingly, the UK has over 1,000, but it's significantly smaller than the other countries on this list.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy. And then you sort of, I guess if you factor in airports per, like, in terms of like the amount of airports you have in the land, it's probably a lot more than the US, right? But there's still a lot more in the US.
Number 97. At 979 meters, Angel Falls in Venezuela is the world's tallest waterfall. To visualize this, imagine the height of the Burj Khalifa, then add another 20% on top of that. Number 98. The smallest country in Africa is the Seychelles. It covers an area of just 452 kilometers squared, making it responsible for less than 0.001% of Earth's entire land. Overall, this ranks the country as the 181st largest. Number 99. There are 10 countries around the world who have some sort of weapon on their flag, with Mozambique being the only country with a modern weapon, being an AK-47.
Crazy.
And finally, number 100, with a fact that really took me by surprise. Antarctica's average elevation is 2,300 meters. If it was a country, this would make it the 5th highest country on Earth by this measure.
God
so there we have it.
That is a crazy elevation for Antarctica. I wasn't assuming it would be that high. But there you go. Brother, you cannot call yourself the Geography Bible if you think Mount Everest height is the same length as the US Canada. But I was so confused. He missed units. Border is 8,890 kilometers. Height of Mount Everest is 8,848 meters. But I was so confused. I was like, what's going on? I was so baffed. Okay, yeah, all the comments are about that. Jesus. But there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. And yeah, that's it. Until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.